The subcompact sedan category is one of the hottest segments in the local car industry and is bound to heat up even more now that Nissan has brought in their latest contender, the all-new 2022 Nissan Almera N-Sport. Will the fourth generation Almera deliver a knockout punch against its competitors? Time for us to find out. Let's do this! Hello guys, I'm Reagan and welcome back to another car review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button for your regular dose of Philippine automotive content. If you're my subscriber already, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. After, you click that like button. Also, special thanks to Nissan Pasig for providing the all-new Nissan Almera N-Sport to do this review. If you are within the area and you have a need for a Nissan, head on down here to their showroom and check them out. For any inquiries, you may contact the person in my pinned comment below. The previous generation Almera may have been overshadowed by its more popular rivals like the Toyota Vios and the Mitsubishi Mirage, but the fourth generation Almera is now here to steal some of their thunder. This new Almera is longer, wider, and lower than its predecessor, giving it a sporty appeal that seriously looks good. Now what we have here is the top-spec Nissan Almera N-Sport, which is meant to go head-to-head against the likes of the Honda City RS and the Toyota Vios TRD Sport. Now, as of this filming, we still don't have the official retail price for the Almera N-Sport, but I wouldn't be surprised if it pops out on your screen below me. But if it doesn't, guys, well, don't worry, the Nissan Almera N-Sport should be in the neighborhood of the 1 million Philippine peso mark. At first glance, the Almera N-Sport looks like the Nissan Leaf. This is Nissan's emotional geometry design language, and it can be seen in the updated V-Motion front grille here, plus these boomerang-shaped LED headlights. That's right, guys, you heard it right. The Almera N-Sport has LED headlights, checked LED DRLs, and LED fog lights. In fact, the LED fog lights are placed in an interesting-looking housing here. Now, when you go back to the front grille, you'll see that it has a glossy blacked-out finish similar to the Nissan Leaf, but the Almera N-Sport gets this silver-painted front lip spoiler that ties well to its sporty appeal. The Almera N-Sport's logo up front is also different from the usual logos from Nissan because this Nissan logo is also the radar for Nissan's Intelligent Mobility Suite. Now, overall, guys, when you look at the front fascia of the Almera N-Sport, it's way better than the previous generation Almera. That one looked a little bit pudgy. This new Almera N-Sport looks sleek and handsome. The side profile shows off more of the design cues from Nissan's emotional geometry design language. We get a C-pillar here that kicks up and nearly meets the roof, but it doesn't really because the Almera N-Sport comes with a floating roof design. I mean, who says that only crossovers can rock a floating roof? The Almera N-Sport has a floating roof and it looks darn good. Now, when you turn your attention to the side mirrors, we get a silver-painted side mirror housing here, and we also have LED turn signals, and these side mirrors are also power folding. Now, for your wheels and tires, the Almera N-Sport gets a larger set of 16-inch alloy wheels that are in a design specific only to the N-Sport. Now, these wheels are wrapped in 205/55 R16 tires. Behind these wheels, we get the same mechanical bits that are found in the third generation Almera. We get ventilated disc brakes up front and drum brakes at the back. Now, the suspension is still a McPherson setup in the front and a rear torsion beam at the back. Now, the ground clearance of the Almera N-Sport is at 135 millimeters, which is a bit low and sleek for a subcompact sedan. In fact, when you look at the entire side profile of this thing, you'll come to appreciate the lower slung roof versus the previous generation and its overall longer length. Now, the Almera is also the longest subcompact sedan in the category when it comes to wheelbase, which should translate to a more stable and comfortable ride on the highway. The Nissan Almera gets a redesigned full LED taillight assembly here that looks deliciously good. In fact, the entire rear-end design of the Almera N-Sport looks like it means business. Now, it has a single design cue here that will make the other subcompact sedans quake in fear. The VL Turbo Badge, baby. Sorry, Honda City RS. Could have been you, man. But anyway, the Almera N-Sport gets a blacked out rear bumper finisher here, and it also has a silver painted rear diffuser that ties it to the silver painted front lip spoiler in the front. Now, when you pop open the trunk of the Almera N-Sport, you'll get 474 liters of trunk capacity, which is not really the class leader, guys, but it's still decent enough to fit a couple of medium-sized luggage. Now, I didn't really bring my medium-sized luggage with me because I brought my tiny car to this shoot. Now, if you need more space than 474 liters will allow, the good news here is the Almera N-Sport's back seats can split fold, thus effectively increasing your cargo space. The thing is, guys, the back seats don't really fold flat, so that's something that you also have to take into consideration. The Almera N-Sport has a 1-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine under its hood. It has the distinction of having the only turbo engine in the subcompact sedan category. Now, this feisty engine can put out 99 horsepower and 135 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via Nissan's CVT transmission, but if you want a 5-speed manual, it's also available in the lower Almera trim. Now, the engine also has an aluminum block, which reduces its weight, and it also has the same bore coating that's found in the Nissan GTR, which can reduce friction, thereby helping improve fuel economy and also give a higher power output. Well, that's what Nissan says. I'll have to drive this thing for a few days to really test it out. Maybe I can borrow one for a few days. Nissan Philippines, hi. The cabin of the all-new Almera N-Sport has been totally redesigned, and it looks way better than the third-generation Nissan Almera's cabin. It's still a budget cockpit, mind you, but Nissan threw in some premium bits and pieces here and there to make this cabin look and feel more expensive than it actually is. Now, this top-spec Almera N-Sport gets two-tone leather seats here that are finished in dark gray, and it has also a white trim. Now, when you go over to the steering wheel, we have a leather-wrapped steering wheel here, and it also has a sporty flat bottom. But the leather quality used here on the steering wheel is, well, it's dinosaur skin leather, guys. It's a bit hard and pebbly, and it's a material that I normally see in, let's say, pickup trucks, but not in a subcompact sedan. Now, the steering wheel also has buttons for hands-free connectivity, but we have a blank plate here where the cruise control buttons should be, so even this top-spec Almera N-Sport doesn't get cruise control. However, we do get some buttons here on the left side which help control your multi-information display, which I'll get to a little bit later on. Now, notably missing also on the steering wheel is a set of paddle shifters because, well, this is a turbocharged N-Sport Almera, so it would have been better if it had a pair of paddle shifters, but it's not there. Now, the steering wheel, however, adjusts for tilt, and good thing it also telescopes, so that is good news for drivers of all sizes. Now, when you go over to your instrument gauge cluster, this by itself is already one of the main selling points of this Almera N-Sport. You see, we get a traditional analog speedometer on the right side, but the entire left side is occupied by a colored digital multi-information display. Now, the good thing here is you could toggle this to look like your tachometer, or it could display other vehicle information like an engine temperature gauge. Take note, competitors of the Almera, it has an engine temperature gauge. Now, it can also display details on your fuel consumption or even your driving aids. Now, by itself, this multi-information display, it's already a winner, buddy. Now, when you move over to your infotainment system, the Almera N-Sport is equipped with an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that comes with Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth connectivity, and voice command. The thing is, it doesn't really have Android Auto, which is a bit of a bummer there. However, the good news here is the Almera N-Sport also has an around view monitor, which is a Nissan Speak for a 360-degree view camera. Now, the image comes out here on the infotainment system screen, and the image quality is decent, although it's not really spectacular. But it is quite usable, and it's there, whereas the other competitors of the Almera only gives you a reverse camera. Now, since we're in the topic of being the first, well, Nissan is also one of the first car makers to put top priority on safety when it comes to their subcompact sedan offering. You see, this Almera N-Sport also comes with Nissan's Intelligent Mobility Suite, which includes emergency braking, forward collision warning, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert, on top of the around view monitor that I mentioned a while back. Now, that's over and above the passive safety bits that this Almera N-Sport also has, and you could already see it on your screen. So, if you're looking for a subcompact sedan and safety is one of your top priorities, well then this Nissan Almera N-Sport has got you covered. When you go down from your infotainment system, we have here a fully automatic single-zone climate control system, and go down further from that, you have an engine push-start button right here. And speaking of buttons, guys, we have another button on the other side of the steering wheel on the left side. It says Auto Off. Now, this button shuts down your i-stop system because the Almera is equipped with an i-stop system, which effectively just turns off your engine when you're idling to help save with fuel and also reduce your emissions. Now, another button that is hidden here is a button that's mounted right on your shifter, your gear shifter, which is the Sport Mode button, and helps to toggle Sport Mode in the Almera N-Sport. Now, I don't know what sort of performance you can expect from the Almera N-Sport once you're on sport mode. So yeah, I have to drive this thing to find out. So I really hope that Nissan Philippines will lend me an Almera N-Sport just for a few days so I could fully test it out. Hi, Nissan Philippines. Anyway, from there we go down to the manual handbrake right here. We don't get an electronic park brake button here yet. Not really a big issue, guys. And beside the handbrake, you've got a couple of cup holders, which I will subject to my Clean Canteen test. Now, the cup holder in front doesn't fit my Clean Canteen, so it fails. But the cup holder at the back passes my Clean Canteen. So that is a pass for the Clean Canteen test. Now, when you look at the cabin materials used here, I mentioned that Nissan threw in some bits and pieces to make this look more premium. And as such, you get this leather wrap, stitch leather wrapping here on your middle dashboard. And you also have some leather wrapping here on the elbow rest of your door cards. You also get a faux carbon fiber trim around your power window buttons. So when you put it all together, it's a modern and edgy looking cabin. And yeah, it punches way above its weight, considering that the Almera is in the budget subcompact sedan category. The back seat of the Almera N-Sport is pretty decent for the subcompact sedan category. It's quite comfortable enough that if you're an Asian adult, you would fit quite well here. I'm 5'6", guys, and this is my driving position. And I've got around 6 inches of knee room left, but the headroom is only at around 2 to 2.5 inches. If you're taller than me, like way taller than me, like if you're a 6-footer, then your head might start brushing the headliner of this Almera N-Sport. That's because this 4th generation Almera has a lower roofline, but Nissan compensated for that by lowering the seat position as well, but it seems that it's not really enough. Now, when it comes to amenities though, we don't get as much toys here as the other rivals because although we do have a couple of USB charging ports here and a center cubby right there in the middle, we don't get rear AC vents here in the Almera N-Sport. We also have a center armrest with a couple of cup holders and of course ISOFIX anchors. Now, even if we don't get rear AC vents here, guys, it's not really going to be a big issue because this is a Nissan, and Nissan has a legendary reputation when it comes to a cold air conditioning. Plus, the Almera has a small cabin. So yeah, the front AC vents is more than enough to cool down the passengers here at the back. As I film this review, I have absolutely no idea what the retail price of this new Almera N-Sport will be. If it's close to ₱1,000,000 or even less, then that would be fantastic news. The new Almera N-Sport is fully loaded with class-leading safety, premium cabin feels, and that punchy turbocharged engine. Now throw in Nissan's 5-year vehicle warranty and their shorter maintenance intervals, and it looks like Nissan Philippines has made the new Almera N-Sport the deal of the year. When it comes to playing the value for money game, it looks like Nissan knows how to play ball. Thanks for watching.